How you gonna touch me without consent, ghostie? That's just disrespectful. It is 2021, okay? I don't know what century you're from, but if you're gonna be touching me with those cold, clammy hands, it better be with my permission. Hey guys, it's Sharon. Welcome back or welcome to Fright Nights. If you don't know what Fright Nights is, if you do, you're about to find out again. So Fright Nights is a series I started last year during spooky season where every single day, the week leading up to Halloween, I upload a brand new spooky video. So this is probably like one of my most busiest content months on YouTube. I absolutely love Halloween. I love October. It's my favorite. And this is like the one time of the year where I upload back-to-back videos for a week. So you get lots of content from me in this series. This is one of my favorite videos to make. This video I actually made before I even started Fright Nights, and you guys seem to really enjoy it, and I do too, because it kind of reminds us that we all share some creepy and spooky experiences, and that is me asking for your scary true stories, and I will share it to the entire internet that is watching this video. So if you'd like to see more videos like that, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. Make sure to follow my Instagram, my Twitter, my TikTok, so you have seen my videos, get a chance to be in them, and even get to be shoutout of the day. If you'd like to see more videos just like this, I have a playlist called Spooky Videos where it is every single spooky video I have ever made, and it includes other parts to this. I think there might be a 1 and a 2. Not entirely sure, but they're all in that spooky playlist, and you can also catch a brand new episode of Fright Nights tomorrow, and you can binge watch the previous ones after this. But that being said, go grab your snacks, go grab your tea, maybe a blanket, a nightlight, your favorite stuffed animal, sleep with the light on, and let's get into this. I woke up in the middle of the night because I heard some noises coming from outside. I opened the curtain and there was an old man sitting in front of my window watching me. I was 12 and never slept in a basement ever again. Wait. Now I'm confused and creeped out. I'm just saying, either way, if I open a window and the first thing I see is an old man's face staring back at me, I would never open a window ever again. I would leave my house. I would live in a room that has no windows. I would be so creeped out and so disturbed. But aside from that, if this person is in the basement, how did they open a window and there was an old man sitting in front of the window? I live in Florida. We don't have basements. That's practically impossible here, right? But I know what a basement is, okay? And I've seen basements that have windows, but the windows are like up here because the rest of the basement is underground. So how are you gonna have an old man's face looking at you through a window in the basement? Is he laying on the ground? Either way, old man needs to back up and go home. But okay. When I was 6 years old, me and my parents were sleeping. I woke up in the middle of the night to see a tall figure that looked like my dad go into the other room from the hallway. I was facing my mom, and as I turned around, my dad was right there sleeping next to us. This is where I tell myself, I'm dreaming, I'm delusional. I imagined it because I cannot fathom waking up and seeing a figure and you're thinking it's someone or something and it's impossible to be that person for who knows what reasons. No, I'm good. I literally imagined it. Unless it's like someone breaking into my house, then like I probably shouldn't imagine it, but I'm still gonna imagine it because I'm terrified. I'm so good. Maybe it's just like the lighting, bad lighting, the wind, the AC created a figure cloud. Listen, deny. We used to live in an apartment that was no doubt haunted. One night when I was maybe 8 or 9, I turned my lamp off and hopped into my bed. It got cold all of a sudden, but I wasn't worried about it. As I laid on my side, I felt a hand touch my head and then slowly caress my body all the way down to my feet. It wasn't the fan or air from the vent. I remember that feeling of cold, clammy fingers. There was nobody in the room and nobody ever came in. Absolutely not. There's no one in the room and I feel like I'm getting touched. I'm out. I am moving out. I'm gonna be sleeping on the street. I want nothing to do with this room. I'm not gonna be in this room. Second of all, how are you gonna touch me without consent, ghostie? That's just disrespectful. It is 2021, okay? I don't know what century you're from, but if you're gonna be touching me with those cold, clammy hands, it better be with my permission. Thank you very much. You can see yourself out now. About 3 hours from where I live, there's an unexplained phenomenon known as the brown mountain lights. So my mom took me to see it when we were on vacation. At first, it was all fun and games. We gazed at the lights, which are supposedly rare to sight. Then we saw another light, but this one was different from the brown mountain lights. While the brown mountain lights danced in the sky, moving and rolling around, this one stayed still, just sitting there and blinking. I joked about it being an alien, then we both got this awful feeling. The hairs rose up on our backs. Oh my god, I have goosebumps. And out of nowhere, my mom dashed to the car. I followed her and we drove away, wondering what the hell we just witnessed. First of all, listen, aliens are real. You cannot change my mind. Whether or not aliens are here, I can't tell you that. I'm not an alien. And no, that's not me covering my tracks because I'm an alien. But aside from that, can can we please acknowledge and talk about the fact that mom ran? Mom's fight or flight kicked in and she said, my kid, who? And she just dashed to the car and left her kid behind for those aliens to grab and abduct her child. Wow, why is that me as a mom? You gotta do what you gotta do. Back in January 2020, my best friend and I went camping. We were in air mattresses in the back of my mom's car. We stayed up and at around 3 or 4, I was looking at my best friend's window and I saw something. It was white and it had a round head with a black stripe going down the middle like a soccer ball. An unnaturally stick-thin body and mitten-like hands. It pressed its hand up against the glass of the window for a split second, but as soon as it saw my best friend and I looking back at it, it slid back the way it had come. I literally have goosebumps. I chuckled thinking I was hallucinating out of my delirium and said, I thought I saw something, but I was probably just hallucinating. My best friend turned to me with wide, shocked eyes and asked, you saw it too? I asked her to describe it in case she was pranking me, but she described the exact thing I'd seen. How do you explain that? Like, if you see something really creepy and weird and you can't explain it and someone else literally explains it to you that they also saw it, what do you do after that? Because now it's been confirmed that that really creepy thing was real and is out there and you don't know what it is. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, my first thought I was like, it's a skunk. It's black with a white stripe, that's definitely a skunk. But then it's like the stick figure, you know, really skinny long body with the mittens, the fact that it's on the window itself. What is it, Slender Man? You know, that's when like you wake up mom and you're like, hey mom, let's go home. You're gonna start this car and we're gonna leave and we're gonna hope that creepy thing that was on the window is not still attached to the car and somehow holding on. Cool. Once my mom and I were driving down a road and there was something off about it. It felt like I was in a different time period and there were houses that were abandoned yet completely intact, as if they were in a state between being abandoned and lived in. Out of curiosity, I checked Google Street View for that road when we got home and none of the houses were there. I definitely believe in vibes and feelings, and if you feel that something is off, it is most likely off. And it's funny because I've definitely been in a town where the houses, like, they looked so nice, but they also looked so eerie and creepy and abandoned. I think it was somewhere in Alabama, and it felt just really eerie just being there. So like, I get this, but the fact that it wasn't on Google Maps is even more creepy because that would mean that they're like new, right? Google Maps hasn't gone through that area and seen those houses yet. Or does that mean there's just some ghost town and they don't actually exist and Google Maps has no idea what's going on? I don't know, dude. I am not the Google, but hey, what if it's just a housing development that was just like abandoned? You know, that could be possible too, but that doesn't explain the feeling, because once you get those feels, good luck, Charlie. About a year ago, I went to Sainsbury and I kept hearing voices, which is quite normal for me. Every time I was around this one lady, the voices were louder and I knew something was up. The things I was hearing were 12th of September over and over again, and then it changed to I still love you. I asked the lady if anything happened on the 12th of September and she said that was the day her son died 2 years ago. I told her about the voices and how her son still loves her. She was very nice about it and told me that he had stage 4 cancer and was in a better place. How do you explain this? As bittersweet as that is so creepy and so eerie, because how does a stranger know that information about someone else without having some spirit or whatever tell them? Imagine like having the ability to speak to spirits or spirits speak to you. That must be so overwhelming. But in this case, you know, it was really sweet because then mom gets to know that her son still cares for her. But if I was mom, I would be freaked the hell out. I'd be very freaked out, but very appreciative at the same time. Dude, when I was first touring the current house I live in, when I walked upstairs into a certain room, I felt a bizarre feeling. Something felt off. I later learned that a girl had lost her life in that exact room. What did I tell you? Once you get those vibes and those feelings, they're there for a reason and they mean something. I will never forget this one time I went to like this haunted museum. I was the first one to walk into this room and I just felt this weird vibe towards a specific object in the room. It was like a dentist chair. And later on the tour guide is like, yeah, so this dentist chair was in a psychiatric hospital and this is where they pulled a patient's teeth raw. And I was like, I literally tasted blood in my mouth after leaving that museum. And I will never forget that. Someone explain that, because I can't. My grandma gave me this family heirloom, which is a doll. Hell no. Y'all know I hate dolls. I remembered I hated it because it's not a doll you're supposed to play with. Anytime I would put the doll somewhere, it would be moved. At first I thought it was my brother's, but it wasn't them. My friends and I were joking around saying the doll was possessed. If it is, I'm actually kind of glad it's possessed because now I can bring it into my room and nobody will bother me because it's creepy and probably possessed. I have never heard of someone being happy that they have a possessed doll so no one will bother them. You just take being an introvert to a whole new level. Like, no, I'm good. Listen, one thing about me, I don't mess with the double D's, the demons and the dolls, and usually they're demon dolls. So you can't win here, you know? I'm just saying, if someone were to give me a doll and I'm feeling like it's possessed, I would not be keeping that doll, and I would especially not be glad to have that doll. But you do you, sis, you know? I'm just saying, if you get possessed one night, like, you kind of did it to yourself, you know? Cool. I have a friend who lives next door to me. It was starting to get dark and we were on her trampoline in the back garden. All of her family was in the kitchen downstairs. I looked up towards a bedroom window and saw what looked like a figure standing at her window and looking at us. I then excused myself and ran home. That is the perfect and best way to have reacted to seeing some creepy figure in the window staring back at you. Just pardon me and then dip. Like in scary movies, when something scary is happening, you know, like the normal, average, sane person would run. But every scary movie is the person like, let me go find out what this scary thing is. Why would you do that? The obvious solution here is run away as fast as you can. Even though this person just ran next door, it still counts. My uncle used to own a store and one day strange things started happening, like lights switching on and off and the door slamming shut. One time my cousin was in the back room and the clothing hanger started to shake, but it was a closed off room with no windows. The scariest thing was when an employee was eating lunch and asked another employee to take a picture of her. When they looked at the picture, they saw a little girl about 8 years old standing next to her. The employee took another picture and this time a woman appeared. They assumed it was the little girl's mom. My uncle eventually closed the store and went to work elsewhere. You imagine getting your picture taken and in your picture some random kid, random woman that you've never seen before and that weren't there just show up in that photo. No, I'm quitting. I'm out. You know what? I don't want to work here anymore. I'm gonna go find a new job elsewhere where there aren't creepy ghosts in my photos, because what the heck? You can't pay me enough. You could never ever ever pay me enough to work at a haunted place. No, actually, maybe a couple million, a couple billion. Debatable. It depends if the ghosts are evil. It depends if they're nice. It depends if they like me, you know? I'm just saying, I'd lose my mind if I took a selfie and there's a face in it that I cannot describe, and just thinking about it gives me the creeps. So good job for the uncle on closing that store. I went to a haunted hotel with my family. We were told that the most haunted part of the hotel is building 5, and the receptionist at the front desk gave us permission to go into a room in building 5 for 1 hour. We bought an Ouija board, a camera, and a digital recorder. We asked several questions, like if we should be afraid. It said yes. It started to get creepy, but we asked one more question and it said run. So we packed up our stuff and went to our room. Listen, I'm gonna stop you right there. Even though it already ended, I'm gonna still stop you right there. And the reason is, how are you gonna play with an Ouija at a haunted place? How are you gonna play with an Ouija in general? Remember when I said demons and avoiding the double D's, demons, you know? So Ouija boards to me just equals demons. So again, just avoid. Is the risk of playing with an Ouija board worth the risk of getting possessed by a demon devil thing you cannot explain? No. My favorite thing about this is that the Ouija board was like, you should be terrified, run. And they simply just grabbed their stuff and went back up to their hotel room. Excuse me? I am checking out of this hotel. I will not be returning to my room. I will be returning to a flight very far away from here and I will be leaving tonight. Thank you very much. But I guess that's just me. When my sister was 2, she would go in the bathroom and scream. After we left, we found out someone died in that bathroom. Hear me out though. Me trying to deny, not be creeped out and scared by everything. What if she was just having a tantrum? Like, kids scream. Kids scream all the time. Kids scream and it's okay for them to scream. I wish it was okay for me to scream randomly, but if I start screaming in the bathroom, I'm crazy or I'm weird. So I'm just saying, what if the kid is just coincidentally throwing a tantrum every time they go in the bathroom? What if they're afraid of the toilet? Can you imagine not being able to use your bathroom because it's haunted? Tragic. One of my friends is a 2-year-old who has just started talking properly. One day she was changing his nappy and he said, "There was a scary lady behind you, mommy." She said, "No, there isn't. Don't be silly." His response was scary to say the least. "You made her mad, mommy. I'll help her get you." I'm on her side now. Excuse me? Imagine giving birth to a child just to have them turn on you with some demon lady ghost, throw the whole child away. But no, really, imagine you're changing your child's diaper and he's saying there's a creepy lady behind you and that he's gonna help her get you. Yeah, no, throw it away. We don't need that energy in our lives, sis. We really don't. My friend had an EVP and was trying to speak to a ghost, but she was scared. The ghost said, don't be scared. Thank you, ghost. I'm no longer scared because a ghost, a creature of the undead, a spirit, has told me to not be scared. Thank you. That's like seeing Bigfoot and him being like, don't freak out, but you're freaking out because it's Bigfoot. Oh my god, that is so funny. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. If you have your own scary true story that I did not get to read this time, but you would like to share it with us, please do. Good luck trying to sleep after this. I'm gonna struggle for a bit, but it's what we do. Happy spooky season. Anyways, shout out of the day goes to Angela on Instagram. Thank you so much. If you'd like to be shout out of the day, just follow me on my Instagram and stay active. And of course, like I mentioned, this is part of my Fright Night series. So if you'd like to see more Fright Nights, you can binge last year's and you can binge previous episodes before this, and you'll get a brand new episode every day leading up until Halloween. So that will be October 31st. So I am very excited for more spooky episodes, even though they terrify me. I literally do this to myself, y'all. I do these scary things right before bed and then I'm like, I'm too scared to sleep. What's freaking new? Anyways, if you want to see more, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Gonna struggle for it to be a good night, but whatever.